not all changes are equal, at least from the perspective of complexity. Most leaders treat change as if they were simple. They just define clear plan, clear steps, clear execution. That's all. But in reality, most changes are not simple, and that's why execution often fails. Let me give you a real example. Company launched a restructuring. Everything looked right. Clear plan, defined milestones, strong communication, and a robust set of KPIs. But after a few weeks, engagement dropped, decisions slowed down, and execution stalled. So leadership reacted with standard formula: more meetings, more pressure, more communication. And still, nothing really changed in reality. At some point, they asked, why isn't this working? Because they treated a complex change as if it is a simple one. Every week, we break down how changes actually work in organizations. And through this series, you'll see one system behind everything we discuss. It's called the Delta Change Queue, a simple, effective structure to turn plans into clear decisions, decisions into immediate actions, and actions into real results. To lead change properly, you first need to understand how difficult the change actually is. There are three basic levels: a simple change, small adjustments that people handle naturally without formal methods. There's a clear problem and there's a clear solution. Typical examples: improving a routine process or changing meeting structure. What do you do in these cases? You use standard tools. You define steps and then you execute. Simple. Next is complicated change. Change that requires planning and coordination, but remains technically predictable. Goal is clear, but solution requires expertise. Typical examples: implementing IT system or launching a new product. What do you do in these cases? You definitely use experts. You plan properly and then you structure execution. Last on the list is complex change. Change that affects behavior, culture, or multiple interacting systems. Goal is usually evolving and solution not necessarily known. Typical examples: big cultural shifts, major leadership initiatives, improving overall collaboration. What do you do in these cases? Because end solution is not yet fully understood. You test, learn, and adapt. This is how we tackle complex change. But reality is even more demanding. There is a fourth type: chaotic change. Together with previous three, simple, complicated, and complex, they can be shaped in the wow, a what and how matrix, or in more advanced version called the Obeng Matrix. This is a powerful tool that helps you understand what kind of change are you dealing with and which actions, tactics fit best for successful implementation. In chaotic change, nothing is clear. You don't know the core problem, but you are aware of the symptoms, and you don't know the solution yet. Typical examples: crisis, market shock, major failure. What do you do? First, and the most important thing is that you act fast. You stabilize the situation and then you analyze. And you hope that this change will turn out to be complex or complicated. Here's the critical insight: an actual problem seen over and over again. Most organizations underestimate complexity of change. Changes that we focus on in today's business practice are in most of the cases classified as complicated and complex, but in most of the cases they are managed as simple. That's why introducing change can become frustrating. That is why changes often do not reach defined impact. And that is why people resist, decisions slow down, and execution breaks. Most leaders guess the type of change, and that is a mistake. If you want a simple tool to diagnose it properly, write OBank in the comments, and we'll share the OBank Matrix one pager with you. When you get proper change complexity assessment done, you'll see faster decisions, less confusion, and stronger ownership. Because now you stop pushing harder and you start working smarter. Here's a practical takeaway. This is what you can do today. Take one initiative and classify type: simple, complex, complicated, or chaotic. Then define approach: execute, analyze, experiment, and act. And while acting, analyze impact and adjust it if necessary. That's your action plan. If your change is stuck, you don't need more effort. You need better diagnosis. Schedule a call and we'll identify your highest leverage point. Change doesn't fail because people don't try. It fails because leaders oversimplify reality. And once you stop treating everything as simple, execution becomes predictable and change becomes effective.